In 12th CBSE chemistry, inorganic chemistry, first chapter is general principles and processes of isolation of elements. So this video has simplified points from this chapter, and these points I am sure going to help you for your coming entrance exams. So without wasting time, let us start the class. Children, naturally occurring substances on the earth crust are considered as minerals. And if from the mineral, if you can able to extract any metal or any element economically, then that mineral will be considered as ore. And the impurities present in the ore are considered as matrix or gangue. This is the basic information. Now here from this page, chances of getting questions are more. Here are the list of some important ores of some metals. The ore of aluminium, chief ore is bauxite, and the next one is cryolite. And the ore of iron, hematite, next is magnetite. Zinc ores are zinc blende and calamine. Lead ore is galena. Tin ore is cassiterite. Mercury ore is cinnabar. And copper ores includes copper pyrite, malachite, cuprite, and copper glans. So these ores you need to remember for the exam. Now, as I said, the impurities present in the ore is considered as matrix or gangue. In order to remove that impurity from the ore, we need to add flux. So this flux combines with this impurity and going to form slag. That slag we can remove by filtration. So flux is added into the ore in order to remove the impurity. There are two types of flux, acidic and basic flux. Acidic flux is added to remove the basic impurity, example silica, silicon dioxide, and basic flux are added to remove acidic impurity, example calcium carbonate. And the most abundant element on the earth crust is oxygen, followed by silicon, aluminium, and iron. Here oxygen is a non-metal, silicon is metalloid, and aluminium and iron are the metals. And among all the metals, gold and platinum, these elements are available in native form, in the purest form, that you have to remember. Now there is one ore that contains iron as well as copper, and that is copper pyrite. Copper pyrite is the ore that contains iron as well as copper. Now there are certain methods to concentrate the ore. Concentration of the ore or beneficiation of ore means the method to remove the impurities from the ore. So based on the type of ore, there are several methods to concentrate the ore. First one is hydraulic washing. Hydraulic washing is based on the gravity, based on the density between the ore and impurity. It is applicable for the ores of iron and tin. Similarly, magnetic separation is a method of concentration of ore applied to the ore of tin and the ore of iron, magnetite. This is based on magnetic nature and non-magnetic nature of iron and GAG, or vice versa. Froth flotation process is important method to concentrate the ore, and this method is applicable for sulfide ores. Sulfide ore like zinc blende, copper glans, galena. These ores are concentrated by froth flotation process. Now in this method, oils like pine oil is used to wet the mineral, and the impurities wet by water. So what happens here? When the impurities wet by water, they are going to settle at the bottom, and a mineral which is going to wet with oil, when you pass the air, they are going to form a froth that floats on the surface. Now here certain collectors are going to be used like pine oil, fatty acid, and xanthase, and froth stabilizers like cresol and aniline are going to be used. Froth stabilizers, they basically forms the hydrogen bond. In the same In the same process, depressants are also going to be used. So I'll tell you later on that. Next method to concentrate the ore is leaching. So here it is based on the solubility of ore in a suitable solvent. Solubility of ore in a suitable solvent. For example, bauxite is the ore of aluminium, and the bauxite ore is soluble in sodium hydroxide solution. So chemical leaching is a method where the ore is soluble in a particular solvent. Now, converting the concentrated ore into crude metal means extracting the crude metal from the concentrated ore. For that we will do roasting or calcination. Now roasting is suitable for sulfide ore, where we are heating the concentrated ore in a reverberatory furnace in the presence of air, in the presence of oxygen. For example, sulfide ore like zinc blende, when you heat in the presence of air, in the presence of oxygen in the reverberatory furnace, it converts to its oxide form with the release of a colorless choking smell sulfur dioxide gas, that is roasting. Whereas in calcination, the concentrated ore is heated in the absence of air. It is suitable to carbonate ores. It is suitable for carbonate ore, for example, calamine, zinc carbonate. When we heat in the absence of air, it converts to its oxide form with the release of carbon dioxide gas. So as I said, in the froth flotation process, depressants are also going to be used like NaCN and sodium carbonate. These are the depressants. Now the use of depressants arise when we have a mixture of sulfide ores. When we have a mixture of sulfide ores, then there is a use of depressant. For example, if we have a ore, there is a mixture of zinc blende and galena, ZNS and PBS, ore of zinc and ore of lead, then we need to use depressants. So when we use depressants, in that case, PBS, galena, does not react with depressant, whereas zinc blende reacts with depressant sodium cyanide to form one complex, and this complex wet with water and settles to the bottom, and the galena comes to the froth. So this way we can separate the two sulfide ores by froth flotation process with the help of depressants. Now we know the chief ore of aluminium is bauxite, Al2O3.2H2O. It is available in two forms, red bauxite and white bauxite. Red bauxite has iron impurity. It can be concentrated by Bayer's process, and aluminium is extracted by Hall's process. Whereas white bauxite has silicon dioxide as an impurity. It is purified or concentrated by Serpik's process. Anyhow, we have only Bayer's process and Hall-Héroult process in the syllabus, and Hoop's process is the process to purify the aluminium extracted by Hall-Héroult process. By Hall's process, whatever the aluminium extracted, that is going to purified by Hoop's process. Now leaching of gold and silver, gold or silver, remember here cyanide process is going to involve. In the leaching of gold and silver, cyanide process is going to involve, also called as MacArthur Forrest cyanide process. So in this method, there is a leaching solvent. For example, NaCN or KCN, potassium cyanide or sodium cyanide, will be act as a leaching solvent. In that, the ore of gold or silver is going to solubilize. And here very important, there is one reducing agent used to reduce the sodium argentocyanide complex, sodium or potassium argentocyanide complex. If it is gold, zinc is used as a reducing agent. Remember, zinc is going to displace the gold or silver from that complex. So zinc is a reducing agent, remember. Now smelting is a very important process in the metallurgy to reduce the metal oxides. Or smelting process is very useful. As I said, roasting is applicable for sulfide ores. It is going to happen in a reverberatory furnace in the presence of oxygen. And here in the roasting we are going to heat the ore below the melting point of that particular metal, So for example, zinc blende, when you heat in a reverberatory furnace in the presence of oxygen, it is going to form zinc oxide. Now that zinc oxide is white when you cool and when the temperature is high, in the hot condition, zinc oxide appears yellow in color, remember. So in the extraction of copper from copper pyrite or copper glans, there is a self reduction in roasting process. We can find self reduction. What is that self reduction? The reduction in which species reacts with itself to form new species. Species reacts with itself to form a new species. Here you can find copper glans Ce2S on roasting, it forms copper oxide with the release of sulfur dioxide gas. Now this copper oxide is going to reduce by the same species, that is copper 1 sulfide, which is act as a reducing agent. So reduction in which species reacts with itself to form a new species. Both Cu2O and Cu2S, they react together and undergo reduction to form copper blisters. Copper blister, because of the release of sulfur dioxide, blister copper is going to form. The thermodynamics principle in metallurgy are very, very important. And the thermodynamic principle is useful for the reduction of metal oxide into metal. What? For the reduction of metal oxide into metal. And to do that, there is a use of reducing agents. To reduce metal oxide into metal, we need to use reducing agents like carbon or carbon monoxide. And sometimes some of the metal oxides are reduced easily under normal conditions, but there are certain metal oxides that are not going to reduce under normal conditions. Along with reducing agents, we need to heat also. At a high temperature, they are going to reduce. So that's why here pyrometallurgy concept we need to understand. Pyrometallurgy means study of variations in temperatures, variations in temperature during thermal reduction. Okay, and here one formula is very useful that we have studied in thermodynamics in 11 CBSE. Delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. I hope you remember this formula. And here remember, in case of this chapter, if the smelting has to be spontaneous, then delta G must be negative. Delta G must be negative. But children, for reduction of most of the metal oxide, delta G is not a negative value, it's always positive one. For example, here just see iron oxide. If you want to reduce iron oxide into iron, then this is for this particular reaction, delta G value will be plus 40. Delta G is, I already said, if the reaction has to occur spontaneously, delta G must be negative. For this particular reaction, for this particular reduction, delta G here is plus 40, which means what? This particular reaction is not feasible, it is not possible. And there is one more reaction here, carbon reacting with half mole of oxygen to form carbon monoxide. Here we can find delta G is minus 100, delta G is negative, means what? This reaction, this particular reaction is feasible because it is spontaneous. Now the first reaction we can make it feasible by combining these two, by using carbon, by using coke as a reducing agent. See here, when you combine both the reactions, we will get FeO plus C gives rise to Fe plus CO, and delta G, if you calculate here, delta G will become minus 60. And here it means what? If we are using some reducing agents like coke or graphite, coke or carbon, then we can able to convert this metal oxide into metal easily. And here delta G is negative, which means what? Under the influence of reducing agent, we can make the reaction feasible. So reducing agent help us to make the reaction feasible. And what reducing agent has to be selected, that we can understand by Ellingham diagram. Already I have made 2 videos regarding Ellingham diagrams. There will be a link. You can go to those links and understand about the Ellingham diagrams. Now, Goldsmith thermite process. Here aluminium is used as a reducing agent and barium oxide and magnesium act as a ignition mixture. And to purify nickel, there is one vapor phase refining called Mons process, where carbon monoxide is going to use to refine nickel. And to purify zirconium, hafnium and titanium, there is a process called Van Arkel process, where iodine is used. Now after the extraction of iron, we will get pig iron or cast iron, and that is having impurities like 2 to 4.5% of carbon and other impurities. Carbon has highest percentage of impurity, and the pig iron cannot be welded. And wrought iron is the purest variety of the iron, having 0.2 to 0.5% of carbon. During the extraction of aluminium by Hall's process, electrolytic reduction is going to be used, where graphite is used as a cathode and electrolyte contains alumina, cryolite and fluorspar. This mixture is used in the Hall-Héroult process. Now, zone refining is used for ultra pure metals, ultra pure elements like silicon, germanium and gallium. And here remember, the principle is impurities in the ore of metal or ingot are more soluble in molten state than in the solid state. Impurities are more soluble in a molten state than in the solid state. So it is useful for semiconducting elements like germanium, silicon and gallium. And remember, sulfide ores like zinc blende, galena, copper pyrite and sulfide of ore of silver, they are concentrated by froth flotation process because they are all sulfide ores, except cephalaretite, because it can be concentrated by chemical leaching. So cephalerite is the ore of zinc as well as iron. It cannot be concentrated by froth flotation process, exception, remember this, it can be concentrated by leaching process. And calcium can be obtained by electrolysis of anhydrous, molten anhydrous calcium chloride.